Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Real in this incarnation. Today, I just wanted to do a reflection about madness and judgment because I think many times when we are in the spiritual path and we are seeking for our inner truth, I mean, society until this point, having lived in a total self delusion, we had so much veils that many times when someone is in their path of seeking their inner truth and they start to express their inner truth. This happened to many people. Society displaces their its own madness to that people, you know and and so people that actually are contacted with their inner truth and expressing it are seen as the mad ones. So I think these concepts are very tricky, very tricky. I mean, a big example of the total madness of society, I think it's the pandemic, was the pandemic. Because from my perception, that was a total programmation. And I mean, media can put on our thoughts many programations actually that can cause symptoms in ourselves, that can cause fear, that can produce many things, if we believe them. And I think a very good symbol, I'm going to relate something that happened here in Argentina. A very good symbol of this total madness was that there was a man with his child. She had 14 years old, and she had cancer. And she was in an oncologic treatment, and this man was trying to cross from provinces, and because of the pandemic the control didn't let them pass with their car. So the man had to carry the 14-year-old girl in his arms and walk kilometers until they got to the hospital. That for me is a symbol of total madness. Total madness, and they were doing the right thing because they were controlling that people weren't traveling and all that thing. So I wanted to reach the point where we are talking about people who are experiencing imbalances with their mental health, because I think this is a tough situation. And from the spiritual perspective, there's nothing that we experience in this incarnation that have no purpose. And I think that many diseases we experiment, when we understand why are there, then they disappear because they have no purpose anymore. So I had the opportunity to walk through with someone that experienced this. I mean, to see the first psychotic outbreak and see how that event and all that came after that changed that person. And I am saying opportunity because I always asked myself if, since I was a kid, if crazy people was actually crazy. And I don't think so. I really don't think so. Of course, I don't call the people that are experimenting these imbalances like crazy, but this is something that I asked myself when I was a kid. So, I mean, a psychotic outbreak, it's not about only hallucinations or hearing sounds that are not there. A psychotic outbreak could be an intense feeling of paranoid or thoughts of conspiracy with people you already know. So I can empathize. I cannot imagine, of course, but I can empathize with that, and because I saw how it works. And many times that is disturbing for someone who are not usually contacting with those things, because we are seeing how that's a state that could happen to anyone. What is the distance? What is the difference between that person and me? So I think many times craziness. That's why society, these places, the truths that are disturbing for them to madness, because they can stand them. So I think these people many times, of course, if they are experimenting something that it's really not feeling good, like the symptoms I described, I'm not saying they don't have to take a medicine, but I already told you in many videos what I believed of the pharmaceutical industry and how now they are created for the purpose of manipulating people. I don't think that the pharmaceutical industry is created to cure people. I'm not saying that medicine always was like that, the Occidental medicine. I'm not against that. But I think that we build those bridges in order to understand now that took us to understand that we can heal ourselves with no intermediaries. I'm going to put an example, very simple. But in Kabbalah, the Kabbalists, the mystics, they believe that, for example, if you are taking a fruit and you connect with that fruit, that the vegetal kingdom has no ego. So if you take a fruit, you can connect in a way that you can link that fruit with an herb or a medicine herb or another fruit or a tree or whatever, because they are not separated. And actually, there's no part of this world that is separated. This is all a big interconnection. I already said so in the video of the sense of the experience. So I think we needed those medicines at a time where we think we couldn't cure many diseases, but now we are finding out how the diseases are working, how we manage our emotions, or how we are not managing them, and that's how the diseases appear many times. And many times because we have a lesson, we acted that, but that doesn't mean we cannot transcend that. And what I think about medicine, I said all of this because what I think about medicine is that the medicine for people that are experiencing psychotic outbreaks are like turning them off. They are leaving them like numbed, and I don't think that's the best state for them. And because I had the opportunity to live with this person and experiment all of these things, I stayed on the hospital, and I talked to other people who were transiting this with other family members of them, and I found a common factor that was that neither, at least here in Argentina, I don't know how it works in other countries, but I found it that they didn't have a diagnosis, and I mean this person who I talked had their son in that state for 14 years, and they didn't have a diagnosis, a final one at least. It was clear that person was experimenting psychotic outbreaks, but and the same happened with this person that was close to me. So I don't think the system of mental health knows very well what they are doing with these people, and I think that maybe not all what they are experiencing are something that it's not real. Maybe they have powers to contact with other planes, and we are do this marginalization, to those people, and they are believing they are crazy. And again, of course, if they are experiencing something that it's not good, like the paranoid or the conspiracy thoughts, that certainly is an imbalance and is preventing them to operate freely in their lives. I mean, I'm not saying they don't have to take a medicine, but I think we will find a cure for that. We will understand the more we are trying to search for the root of this. And something I did in that moment, at that moment, because I was very worried about this person, I started to read a lot, and I read these Lacan seminars about the psychotic outbreaks, and he said that many people that were experimenting this was because they had a lack of the paternal function, which and I'm not saying that the father wasn't there. Could be that maybe the father wasn't emotional available or something like that, but the paternal function wasn't there. And from the spiritual perspective, it has sense, because the father is for the psychic do this function of order, limitation, and contention. So I think that it totally has sense. But okay, I'm not having the answers about this. I just wanted to do this reflection and to understand that maybe those people are going through that because many times society can't understand them. And I am saying this too because when I was a teenager, I used to talk a lot with people from the street, with homeless and something like and people like that. And because I was curious about how they ended that way, and many times they looked like people, like they were gone, you know. But when I started to talk to them, they just come on, and they came back, you know. So I think that the lack of contact with other people made them feel separated too, isolated. So that feed the imbalance. I mean, they really looked like they were coming back to reality, to the present. So I just wanted to talk about these concepts because I don't think they are actually they're experimenting imbalances like everybody is, but maybe society disturbs more about that because we are talking about the mind and things we cannot understand fully right now. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you everybody, and see you tomorrow. Ciao ciao.